Hi guys, today I want to talk about 3 worst albums this year, the albums that really disappointed me for different reasons. So I'll talk about those 3 albums plus 2 honorable mentions. Can I say honorable mentions? I don't know. I'll explain what exactly it was about each album that disappointed me. But let's get going and I'll start with the honorable mentions. So the first honorable mention is Chaos Horrific by Cannibal Corpse. It's their 16th studio album, came out in September 2023. So I did an album review on this one back in September, so let's hear what I had to say back then. The negatives, it's kind of more of the same, as I said, and they could have allowed some of the songs to kind of play out more like this last song, Drain You Empty. They could have just allowed that to go into that territory somehow or stay on that path. And then, yeah, with the vocal mix, that's a little bit... So I'm going to give this album 7.5 out of 10. It's a solid album. I'm pretty sure that if this album would have come out 25, 30 years ago, it would have been kind of like a groundbreaking album. But these guys broke the ground years ago, so they can't be breaking the same ground over and over and over again. So here's the thing with this album. It's not a bad album as such, but it just doesn't do anything new. So it's going to be good live songs. It makes me wonder if these bands are making albums like this just to justify going on a tour. Maybe they won't get bookings if they don't have any new content out or whatever. But I kind of feel, and that's what disappointed me really about this album, is that I feel that this band actually has the goodwill and the kind of the equity, let's say, to try and experiment a little bit. I mean, they're so far into a career and they could do something new and try. We would forgive them if it would fail. So, and the second honorable disappointing mention is KK's Priest's second studio album, The Sinner Rides Again. I mean, KK's Priest is KK Downing from Judas Priest and Tim Ripper Owens. I mean, 2 amazing metal legends and a band that I've been kind of hoping to see live, and I was looking forward to their stuff. So, but I was also a little bit afraid that their past, especially KK Downing's past, would be a chip on his shoulder. So let's see what I thought about it when I did my album review back in September when the album came out. Because he doesn't need to pretend. He's a great singer, but they're bringing in too much, you know. And this sort of is how I feel about this album. It's very well played, has great sound, amazing mix, great singer, great guitars, but there's just nothing that kind of glues me on it, you know, nothing that sticks somehow. And I feel that in this case, the kind of the chip on their shoulder towards Judas Priest got the better of them somehow. They're trying to out-priest instead of kind of stepping out of the shadow of their past. Maybe I was unrealistic. I mean, all the hints were there, the name of the band, the album title, the song titles. I mean, it's all there, and the writing was on the wall. What did I expect? I still really like this band, and I hope to get the chance to see them live sometime soon. They disappointed me with this album because I kind of thought that by taking those 2 guys they came from a slightly different direction, that there would be a little bit, they would move the envelope a little bit. Or yeah, maybe I had wrong expectations. Maybe I was expecting a dog to meow or something like that. But yeah, it disappointed me. Not a great album, nothing really original there. KK is Downing, The Sinner Rides Again. And now to the main list. Third place, third from bottom, I guess, is Katatonia, Sky Void of Stars. It's their 12th album. Katatonia are a Swedish kind of a gothic post-metal band. And I was pretty hyped for this album because I was about to see them live just after it came out. I think it was in January or something like that. Admittedly, I didn't know a lot about this band before I did the album review. So let's see what I thought about it back then. But I also have to, you know, understand and accept that might not just be my cup of tea. So my verdict on this album after giving it a try a few times, I have to give it just like 6.5. And maybe it's unfair actually to judge music that is just not what you like. But on the other hand, I like Paradise Lost and I like a lot of other more gothic melodic stuff. It doesn't have any peaks somehow. It doesn't rise. And it kind of melts into one and just not enough roughness on the guitar. So it just doesn't connect with me somehow. I do hope that I will enjoy them better live. And who knows, maybe, I mean, there are bands that I didn't like any of their albums and I saw them live and it was great. And then I went to see them live, and to be very honest, I would have had to smoke like 3 or 4 joints just to get into the vibe of that concert. It was more like some sort of a ceremony than a concert. And it's just definitely not a band for me somehow. And the reason why this album and band disappoints me is that they said that they were Paradise Lost ripoff, and yeah, well, that's what I came in with, and it's not. That's it. So I'm just realizing now when I'm thinking about this list that it's actually extremely diverse. So you'll be surprised about my next one, the second from bottom, and the top one for sure. The next one is something that I never thought I would have on any of my episodes on YouTube. That's Dolly Parton's Rockstar. It's her 49th solo studio album, and it came out this year, actually just recently. I think it was now in November 2023 or something like that. So everybody knows Dolly Parton for different reasons, obviously. But the background of this album is that at the tender age of 76, Dolly Parton got nominated to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she said no because she didn't believe she's a rock star. And then she decided to say yes and make a rock album. So what she did is that she got quite an impressive guest list like Rob Halford, Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac, Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. She got Kid Rock, Joe and Jett from the Blackhearts. So there is plenty of really, really talented people working with her on this album. It's 30 songs, but it's probably like 25 songs too much because there are almost no good songs on this album. And I'm pretty sure that if they would have made it like a EP, it still would suck. The only good song that I found on this album is with Kid Rock. But there are some real butcherings on this album, like Stairway to Heaven is being butchered, Purple Rain by Prince is being butchered, Freebird by, what are they called? Sweet Home Alabama, Lynyrd Skynyrd is being butchered. So it's just not good stuff. And the reason why this album disappointed me is that with a guest list like this, you know, Rob Halford, Steven Tyler, Stevie Nicks, Joe and Jett, all these people, even Simon Le Bon from Duran Duran. I mean, don't tell anyone that I talk nicely about Duran Duran, but he was there, but it's still not good. Before we talk about the most disappointing album on 2023, according to me, then please like and subscribe this video if you're happy with it so far. So the most disappointing album of 2023 for me is Sleep Token, Take Me Back to Eden. So Sleep Token was started in London 2016. This is their third studio album. And when this came out, there was a lot of hype. I even saw articles by that Corey Taylor was comparing this to early Slipknot, and I was like, wow, I must hear this. There's finally something new, and I was so happy. And then I found it, I downloaded this album, and I started listening. I thought, this is wrong. Is there another band called Sleep Token? Because this is just some electronic indie music or something like that. This is not metal. And then I realized I might be the problem. Maybe I'm just too old school and metal is kind of changing. It's moving into a direction where I'm not ready for. But for me, it's not enough to play 2-3 riffs on guitar in a song and call it metal. You don't get into a category that easily. You gotta do something more than that. And so I'm sure that this album is made with all the best intentions and all that, and there are probably people out there that like it, but it doesn't belong with us here, the metalheads. So I hope I never have to listen to this album again. And if they're playing in a festival anywhere near me, I will be in the catering tent while they're playing, so you can find me there. Why I am disappointed? Because I believed the hype. This is just a sheep pretending to be a wolf. Now, that's it, guys. These are my top 3 bad albums and the 2 honorable mentions. I have this video here. I'm gonna see you over there in my top 10 albums of 2023.